All right, Pilsy, coming in at number 29 on our Locked On Senators NHL draft rankings, we are going to Sweden. It's Milton Gästrin, captain of the under-18 silver medalists from Sweden.
Yeah, Gästrin, a top-tier Swedish prospect, as you mentioned, captain for their team, plays center. He's got decent size at 6'1", 185, a sturdy guy in the middle of the ice, and he lit it up in the J20 National League with Modo this year. 40 games, 18 goals, 24 assists, 42 points, over a point per game, +6. And then he spent some time in J18 in the playoffs, where it was very clear why he's not playing in the J18 league anymore, Ross, because he had 19 points in 9 games.
Wow. Pretty decent, I would say. So Milton Gästrin stands 6'1", 185 pounds. He's a late birthday as well. Just turned 18 in June, left shot. And other than elite prospects, and we'll get to why, all of our other scouts have him in the mid to late 20s. Craig Button at 22. Corey Prodman at 25, Scott Wheeler at 26, Bob McKenzie at 27. Elite Prospects has him down at 45, and heck, McKean's doesn't even have him ranked in their top 80. You mentioned the points, over a point per game this year with the J20s. Got a cup of coffee with the top league in Sweden there. And I mean, when you look at what he can bring, of course, leadership jumps out right away, but it's also the fact that with Gästrin, you're getting a well-rounded player already. You're getting a guy who you can see the development path as a safe pick where, yeah, if you want to plug him into a bottom 6 role, he's not going to hurt you. He knows how to play a smart game, a simple game, and one that's not going to be a high-risk type situation.
Yeah, I definitely think that's fair. He even got to spend some time in the SHL this year. I'm looking at the game logs, Ross, kind of typical, a lot of 000s, but there was one game. I don't know what happened here. I mean, well, okay, no, I know what happened here. It was a 6-1 loss, but he did play 12 and a half minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, so not bad. And EP has him projected to be playing in the Allsvenskan League with Modo next season. So that's going to be a bump up in competition from the J20.
Wait, so they get relegated then? I think they got relegated.
That's, yeah, I mean, they didn't make playoffs, so that's possible.
Yep, they just lost a series to HV71.
Okay.
That's wild how in Sweden they have relegation.
This is a whole nother topic, but that's kind of sweet. Like if you can't hang with the big boys, you don't get to be in this league. See you later, Buffalo, San Jose, Chicago.
Well, I mean, Ottawa finished dead last in 2019.
Well, we're not talking about 2019.
Oh, man. But yeah, and dude, Modo's history of players is incredible. I know we're way off the rails here, but do you know how many superstar players have come from Modo?
I'm not able to name one, so no.
Well, you can name 2. You can get a little 2-for-1 deal here. Daniel and Henrik Sedin.
Nice.
Victor Hedman.
Decent.
William Nylander.
Okay.
Adrian Kempe.
Nice.
Matt Zuccarello. Like, this is a factory at one point of National Hockey League stars. And I want to say Peter Forsberg also played for Modo way back in the day, but yes, he is an alumni. I shouldn't know that. That's really dumb.
Nice.
I shouldn't know that. I'm not saying Milton Gästrin is Peter Forsberg, but Modo clearly knows how, in the past, have known how to develop prospects. But maybe the Allsvenskan could be a good thing for a younger player like that.
Yeah, I think it could be, Ross. But let's get to what Gästrin does do well. He's no Peter Forsberg. Let's start off with that. But he is a well-rounded prospect. I like watching his highlights. He has the ability to use his body to protect the puck. He's got good awareness to keep plays alive and set up teammates. He's got a decent shot. EP mentions how he's a positive in all 3 zones, defensive zone, neutral zone, and offensive zone. His good hockey IQ helps him advance the puck, move the play along, and he's got a sneaky good backhand, which I think is a bit of a dying art, Ross, having a good backhand. I just see this guy's just so projectable. Like, he's kind of similar to Nesbitt, but if you upticked everything Nesbitt did by a couple points. Like, I just think he's so much more well-rounded. The skating isn't that big of an issue. I think he's a very safe prospect, high floor, low ceiling. I'm all but certain he's going to remain a centerman. This is the type of guy that I could see sticking in the center of the ice. And I've kind of labeled him, Ross, as the kind of prospect I would see a contending team look at to play fourth line or third line on an entry-level contract while they're in the playoffs. That's the type of guy I see here.
Yeah, I'd be okay if the Senators took him at 21. What's your Sens stars on him? I wouldn't love it, but I'd be okay.
Okay, I'm not quite there with you. I give him 3.5 stars, Ross. Again, this is not the type of player I want the Sens to draft. I don't think he should be drafted in the 20s here. I got him going early second round or late first round. There's just not enough high-end potential for me for the Ottawa Senators to take him, but he's a guy that is more than likely going to play pro hockey. And I think that teams are going to look at that and be like, you know what? Maybe at the end of the day, we're not like, oh, we took the best prospect or we took the biggest swing, but we got a guy that we can grow, develop, and we can pencil him in playing at least some NHL minutes one day.
I'm not saying it's the same type of player, but in terms of projection, we looked at a couple of years ago when we covered Philip Bistad, who ended up flying up the ranks, but like he was a late first round pick because he's so projectable. Now, Bistad had much more size, or at least like he was filled out more at that age, but both coming in from the SHL. I just feel like Gästrin is going to be a first round pick. I don't think there's a chance he falls into the second. If he does, teams should scoop him up early.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a late first round pick, Ross, just because that makes more sense with my narrative that a contending team is going to get him rather than a.
Although at the end of the first round this year, there's already been so many trades. There's a lot of rebuilding teams with extra picks at the end of that, at the end of the draft.
Yeah, it's true. But I'm looking at like a Washington or Winnipeg, at 27, 28.
Yep.
Those could be spots where it makes sense to grab him.
Yeah, we'll see where he ends up. What's your Sens stars? You got 3.5, right? For Gästrin?
3.5. Yeah, I like him more than Nesbitt, so I gave him that full star boost there.
Yeah, let us know in the comments how you feel about Milton Gästrin. And if you missed any of our 2025 Locked On Senators draft rankings, you can find them available wherever you get your podcasts.